Hello everybody and welcome to another Nephilim Builds. Today we'll be celebrating reaching over 100 subscribers and my birthday today by making my favorite legendary hero, Chulainn. No, not the one from Fate, although he's also my favorite Lancer. And because we're doing such a legendary hero, this will be my first level 20 build. As always, keep in mind that these videos are about capturing the spirit of these characters rather than capturing their abilities perfectly. With that said, let's do ability scores. Now honestly, Chulainn's strength and durability are so legendary that it's hard to pick which one to put higher. Not that it matters because we'll be bumping them both up with our racial scores, so let's do 15 in strength and 14 in constitution. Next we'll put the 13 into charisma. At 14 years old, grown men were legitimately scared he was going to seduce their wives and daughters. The boy was a looker. Next we'll put the 12 into dexterity. He was a pretty good shot with a sling. And we'll put the 10 into intelligence, but only because we're dumping wisdom. And not because of his frequent temper tantrums, but because the one time he decides to keep in his pants is to turn down a goddess. If mythology has taught me anything, it's that when somebody turns down a booty call from a goddess, bad things happen. Moving on to race, Chulainn is the son of Lu, one of the Tuatha De Danann, the pre-Christian god kings of Ireland. Obviously, this makes him an Aasimar, specifically a Scourge Aasimar. Like I said, we're using our racial bonuses to bump our strength and constitution to 16 each. We'll have dark vision of 60 feet, celestial radiance, healing hands, and the light cantrip. And we'll speak common and celestial. For background, he was basically a folk hero since he was 7. This will give us animal handling and survival, proficiency in land vehicles, and 1 arson's tool. We'll go with woodcarver's tool, but you pick whichever. Now, Chulainn is known for going into a battle frenzy, and most depictions I've seen of him show him in little to no armor, so we're going for a barbarian. We'll take proficiency in strength and constitution saving throws, and we'll take athletics and intimidation. We'll have proficiency in all weapons, as well as light and medium armor, and shields, even though we won't be wearing any. At level 1, we get our signature rage and unarmored defense, and then at level 2, we get danger sense and reckless attack. You'll be using that second one a lot. Now for the fun part. At level 3 we get Radiant Consumption, as well as our Primal Path, and this is where we hit our biggest conundrum. The Riostrad or Warp Spasm is absolutely insane. His body hulks out, his legs and feet get twisted around, one eye sinks into his skull, the other hangs out onto his cheek. His lungs and liver hork up into his mouth, though I'm not sure how you could know that because his lower jaw jams itself into the upper jaw while his cheeks pull back into a haunting grin that would make the Joker's blood curl. The veins on his temple bulge out to the point of them squirting blood. His hair turns spiky enough to spike apples on it. They were very specific about the apples. And in one description, he grows a freaking glowing unicorn horn. None of the barbarian subclasses do anything even close to all of this, but there are 2 things that are pretty consistent that we could work with. The first is the Hero Light or Hero Flame. Basically, he glows, but we could call that a Radiant Consumption. The second is heat. In his early days, he gets taken out of his warp spasm by getting distracted by boobs, I'm not making that up, and getting dunked into 3 barrels of water. The first immediately bursts from the heat, the second instantly starts to boil, and the third becomes incredibly warm. The only thing that can come close to this is Storm Herald. We'll get Storm Aura, taking desert as our terrain, allowing us to radiate enough heat to hurt. We also get Primal Knowledge, which we'll use to take nature instead of perception because Ku is too busy getting laid to notice a freaking army crossing the border he was supposed to be watching. And yes, I'm taking Tasha's stuff. What of it? Now that we have all that decided, it's time to speedrun this. At level 4 we get an ability score improvement, which we'll put into strength. At level 5 we get extra attack and fast movement. At level 6 we get Storm Soul, and at level 7 we get Feral Instinct and Instinctive Pounce. Sneak up on the Hound and he will bite you. Level 8 is another ability score improvement, which we'll put into Constitution. At level 9 we get our first Brutal Critical, which you should be getting a lot because you should be reckless attacking a lot. At level 10 we get Shielding Storm, that way you don't hurt your allies too much. Level 11 gives us Relentless Rage, Chulainn doesn't go down easy. Level 12 is another ability score improvement, which we'll use to cap our strength. At 13 we get another Brutal Critical, and at 14 we get Raging Storm, which is the last thing we get from Storm Herald. It kind of goes without saying, but you should be keeping Desert the whole way through, which is why I'm going to get rid of some of these extra deserts to make some room. That's better. At level 15 we get Persistent Rage. Try dunking him in water now. At level 16, we get another ability score improvement, which we'll use to cap our constitution. Level 17 gets us one last root of critical for some gay bulge levels of crit. Level 18 gives us Indomitable Might, and 19 is one last ability score improvement, which we'll put into Dexterity just for some extra AC. And finally, at level 20 is Primal Champion, breaking the score cap and putting both our Strength and Constitution at 24. And with that, we finally have our modifiers. Holy shit, those are high. Moving on to inventory, he obviously has to have the Gay Bulge. The problem is there are no legendary spears in 5e, and only one artifact spear from Mythic Odysseys of Theros, and that doesn't fit the bill in the slightest. Seriously, Wizards, where's the love for spears? The best we can do officially is a +3 spear, but I recommend homebrewing something. I believe he uses a sword and shield when not using the Gay Bulge, but seriously, just use the magic spear. As stated, he's a decent shot with a sling, and if you're feeling silly, you could flavor a club as his old Hurley. Now, he is typically shown with armor and older artwork, but these days, most people draw him without it. And besides, with a +2 dexterity and +7 constitution, giving an AC of 19, you would need +2 plate armor to beat his unarmored defense. And no, shields don't count because they work with the barbarian's unarmored defense too, so it's still gonna be better. You also get a movement speed of 40 without it, so hey, even better. And with our beyond max constitution, your average HP is 285 with 20d12 hit dice. And with that, we are done. Once again, thank you all so much for surpassing 100 subscribers. I plan on doing more of these legendary builds for future milestones, so I really hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you next week where we make Inklings from Splatoon.